When you're setting up and preparing to warm up, there are a few things that you need to think about. First of all, it's nice to have a practice pad that is height adjustable somehow. You can see that this one is on a snare drum stand. If you don't have a snare drum stand, you can easily put the practice pad on a coffee table, especially if the coffee table is a little bit lower than where you're sitting. You can always make the practice pad taller by putting a book, or even 2 books, or even 3 books underneath it, but you can't make the table any lower if the table is too high for you. So a coffee table is good, a kitchen table is less good. If you don't have a practice pad, that's fine. You can just use a piece of wood. Make sure you don't play directly on the coffee table or someone will probably get mad at you. But just take a piece of wood that you don't care about very much, put it on the coffee table, and then because that's kind of loud and unpleasant to play on, just take a towel, 1 layer of towel, terry cloth, and makes it sound a little bit nicer. If that's too low for you, you can raise it up by putting books underneath it. Regarding the chair that you're sitting in, this is a standard foldable rehearsal chair that has no arms. If you have to use a chair that has arms, just make sure that you're sitting as far ahead on the chair as possible so that the arms don't interfere with your ability to play. You'll know that your surface is the right height by making sure that you can just pick up your arms and play without having to shrug up your shoulders and without striking the edge of the stick on the surface by accident, without having to lower your hands and hyperextend your wrists either. It should feel natural and comfortable to pick up the sticks and get ready to play. The first exercise that we're going to do for our warm-up is called 8 on a hand. You can see it written out just underneath the screen here. Before we start playing, it's important to make sure that we're holding our sticks properly. Make sure that your thumb and index finger are wrapped around the grip, that your back fingers are all connected with each other, but that they're allowing a little bit of space for the stick to move around. You should have about 3 fingers of space from the end of your grip to the end of your stick. Once you've done all that with one hand, all you have to do is match up the other hand and make sure that they look the same as one another. So we're going to be reading this exercise underneath the screen from left to right, and I'm going to be a mirror image of you for this. So this is your right hand and this is your left hand. We're going to start this exercise at 66 beats per minute, but if you're using the video for this, you can use my metronome. You don't have to use your own. So I'm going to count us off, 1 bar, and then we're going to start. 1 and 2 and 3 and go. And 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and repeat. 1 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Try it again with me this time. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And right, 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 left, 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 left again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Let's try that exercise a little bit faster. We're going to increase the tempo to 80 beats a minute. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And right, 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 left, 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 left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. And if your hands are feeling good today and you want to try that even faster, we'll bump the speed all the way up to 92 beats a minute. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, 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 left, 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 left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. For our next exercise, we're going to be doing double strokes. You can see that this exercise has 8th notes and 16th notes in it. So, you need to make sure that you switch from counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and to 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a as you go through the exercise. And we're going to start this one nice and slow because as you can see, the second bar of the exercise does require us to move our hands twice with the right, twice with the left, and twice as frequently as we just did in the first bar. So just to go through the exercise once really slowly, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a. And you'll notice there's a repeat sign, so we're going to be doing the exercise consistently. So let's start off at 60 beats per minute, and we're going to do the exercise twice. The first time through I'll count it with you. The second time through I will say the stickings out loud. Remember that I'm mirroring you for this. This is your right hand, this is your left hand. Let's double check that our thumb is centered on the stick, index finger wrapped around, all 4 fingers connected, back fingers allowing a little bit of breathing room for the stick. 3 fingers of space from the end of the stick to the end of the grip on both hands. 1 and 2 and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. Let's try that same exercise a little bit faster this time, 72 beats a minute. I'll do it exactly the same as last time. I'm going to mirror you. This is the right hand, this is the left hand. First time through counting, second time through sticking. 1 and 2 and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right. For our third exercise, we're going to do paradiddles. First, we're going to do them without accents, which means that all the notes are going to be the same volume, same loudness. You can see the exercise here. Right, left, right, right, followed by left, right, left, left. Now these are 8th notes, even though they're beamed together in groups of 4 rather than in groups of 2. The thing that makes them 8th notes, remember, is that they have 1 beam across the top, not 2 beams across the top. So, we're going to start this one out at 72 beats a minute. Remember to check your grip. Index finger wrapped around, thumb centered on the stick, all 4 fingers connected with one another, back fingers allowing a little bit of room for the stick to move around, 3 fingers of space from the end of the stick to the end of the grip, symmetrical grip in both hands, and this is your right hand, this is your left hand. First time I'll count it through with you. Second time, I will say the sticking. 1 and 2 and 3 and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Try that again with me this time. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, left. Let's try paradiddles a little bit faster. We're going to try for 88 beats a minute this time. 1 and 2 and here we go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. 1 and 2 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Alright, for our next exercise we have paradiddles, except with accents this time. If you look at the exercise in front of you, you'll notice that the first of every group of 4 notes is accented. What we're going to try to do for that, we're not actually going to make that note louder, we're just going to make everything else quieter. So you remember the volume in the last exercise was about there. That's going to be our accent volume. Everything else is going to be nice and low. Remember to check your grip, thumb centered on the stick, index finger wrapped around, all 4 fingers connected, back 3 fingers of the stick allow for a little bit of breathing room, 3 fingers from the end of the grip to the end of the stick, match up to ensure symmetry, and let's give this one a shot at 60 beats a minute because it's a little bit difficult to make sure that we're doing that accent properly. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, and 2 and 3 and 4 and right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, left, right, left, left, right. The last exercise we're going to do for your warm-up routine is the flam. You can see the exercise in front of you. You notice that there's a little note and a big note. The little note is called the grace note, which isn't really that important. The main thing is that it's called a grace note for 2 important reasons. Reason number 1 is that it's quieter than the big note is, and reason number 2 is that it doesn't take up very much time. It's very short. So what we're going to do for this, for the first flam where you have a little left note and a big right note, is we're going to put the sticks in playing position. That's step 1. Step 2, raise only the right hand. And then step 3, throw both sticks down at once, and you'll notice that I just get that split second of space between the 2 notes, which is what you want, and also the left hand is quieter than the right hand, which is what you want. Make sure that your sticks don't buzz, you don't get multiple contacts, you just want 1 little note, 1 big note, except right together. You'll notice that you have a flam on beat 1, your rest on beat 2 is time for you to make sure that you pick up your left stick, get ready for the flam that's happening on beat 3. Don't pick up the right stick, only pick up the left stick, and then you have beat 3. And then beat 4 is to set up to do the next bar, which is exactly the same as the first bar. Beat 1 is the flam with the right hand high. Beat 2 is to set up and make sure the right hand stays low. Beat 3 is the flam with the left hand high. Beat 4 is to set up to repeat back to the beginning. Raise the right hand and make sure that the left hand stays low, and then you're back at beat 1 again. Let's try this one at 60 beats a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Left up, 3. Right up, 1. Left up, right up, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Feeling good? Let's try that one again at 72 beats a minute this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Being very careful to make sure that only one hand picks up, the other one stays down. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And we're done.